And we are back. And we just finished watching Romancing the Stone from 1984. Rated PG with a runtime of 1 hour and 46 minutes. This was directed by Robert Zemeckis from a script by Diane Taylor. And we actually caught this on Turner Classic Movies, but you can also rent it on Prime. According to the IMDb page, a mousy romance novelist sets off for Colombia to ransom her kidnapped sister and soon finds herself in the middle of a dangerous adventure hunting for treasure with a mercenary rogue. This stars the lovely Kathleen Turner as the aforementioned novelist, Joan Wilder, and Michael Douglas as Jack Colton. I'm going to go around the table and get impressions. Gigi, can I start with you? What did you think of the film?
It was nice.
Okay. Did you have a favorite character?
I mean, I guess I'd say Joan.
Yeah. Did you like her character arc? She starts being mousy, but then by the end, she's definitely come into her own. She's stronger. She's more confident.
Yeah, I did. I guess, I did like her arc. I like seeing her, I guess, like, grow into herself or be comfortable, more comfortable in her own skin. Because at the beginning, I mean, she was so, like, she, like, curled in on herself.
Yes.
It seemed like she got sick over everything. Like, when she was leaving they went to Colombia, right?
Colombia, yes.
When she was leaving for Colombia, her editor or whoever it was like, Joan, you get sick. You're going to get sick in the air. You're going to get sick on, like, a boat or something.
Yeah.
And by the end, she's like, I don't even know. They were on, like, a crazy adventure, and she wasn't getting sick at all.
No. If anything, I think it definitely pulled her out of her shell. And it's funny.
Her stronger.
It definitely made her stronger. And I agree with you. I think in the beginning, even her clothing, she's more conservative and muted, but by the end her hair is down, she's wearing like stronger solid colors, she's walking more confidently, so you definitely see this progression in her character. She's not the same Joan that she was at the start of the story. You've seen this before. What do you think? Or have you seen this before?
I think I've sat through the whole thing a long time ago, but I haven't thought about this film in years.
Okay. What'd you think?
It's good. I enjoyed it. It's a definite fun adventure. As you mentioned, it's got good character arcs. Joan goes from being, as you said, this mousy, introverted woman who clearly lives through her writing. She has these fantasies about, what was the name of the character? Was it Jake something? She's always writing about.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, who's basically on the cover.
No.
It wasn't Jake?
No, I think it was like Sam or something.
Okay, whatever the character's name was, she has like this idea of who he is, and there's like I guess large versions of the book jackets in her apartment, and it's like this guy who's wearing a hat and his face is sort of in shadow, so you never see it. And then the first time she sees Jack Colton, it's that silhouette. So it's like her fantasies are her fantasies becoming a reality. And as the film progresses, she's forced to adapt, and she does so. And Jack is like the guide for this for her, guides her along the way. I don't know if the description said he was like a mercenary, but he was never really a mercenary. He was a guy who sold birds. He just happened to be like, he knew what it was like in the jungles of Colombia, so he had a shotgun and a machete. So he knew what he was doing getting around. But the adventure that they go on is very entertaining. There's all sorts of danger. There's sort of like two factions trying to
get the stone.
To get the map. And,
right.
It leads to a very satisfying conclusion. The romance in the story, it feels earned. It feels by the time they get to that sort of town at the end, where like before, obviously things go crazy. The town where like they get the hotel and get cleaned up and have dinner and they go dancing. It feels like by that point that it is earned, that these two genuinely like each other. And I would say it's solid from beginning to end. I don't think there was anything in it that I felt was superfluous or unnecessary. Maybe, if anything, maybe Danny DeVito's character felt a little underutilized.
Yes, I agree.
He was sort of kind of just there
for comedic purposes, but
comedic purposes, and also just to, I guess, keep the flow going as far as one of the factions goes. And basically explain how the two factions end up colliding at the end. So, yeah, I mean, he served his purpose. So, I guess, yeah, overall, this is a solid story. There's really nothing to complain about here.
Olive Jane, what'd you think of Romancing the Stone from 1984?
I genuinely couldn't care less about it.
No?
No.
You disliked Jack, right?
Yes.
And his mullet?
Yes.
Why did you dislike Jack?
Because he was stupid and he was sleazy.
Was he sleazy, though?
In my opinion, he was.
Really? Okay. What made him sleazy?
Because it's just the way he looks and the way he acted at the beginning.
All right.
Piece of crap.
Did you like anything about this film?
It was okay, I guess. It was like a nice waste of time. I don't know.
Did you enjoy the adventure that the two were on?
I guess. I mean, like, I don't know. I was kind of lost. Like, there wasn't any real, like, I don't know. It was mostly just them, like, driving in, like, cars and stuff like that. There was no real, like how in, like, Indiana Jones movies or whatever, there's, like, those, like, temples with, like, traps in them and stuff like that. Like, there was none of that. So it didn't really feel like an adventure movie to me because, like, that's, like, my basic definition of one.
But they were being chased through the jungle with bullets flying around.
I know, but it was still. It just felt like they were
Well, I mean, Indiana Jones is definitely top tier, and as far as like action adventure stories go, this is more. I mean, it's adventure, but it's also a romance story, and I think it's.
I feel like they focus more on the romance than the adventure part, and that's what kind of like put me off.
Oh, I
really?
get it.
I felt like I thought it was like a nice even mix. I think like your dad said, I think that the love story is there, but it kind of has to simmer, and then it really by the end the relationship feels earned. I think for the most part they're just struggling to survive. Although I never felt like they were really in peril, even when they have guns at them.
No.
I was pleasantly surprised. I was curious to see if this held up. I thought it did. However, it did feel kind of slow at parts. I'm not sure. I think that this is a movie that is 40 years old now. Wow. And
when did it come out?
84.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, and I would be interested to see a remake of this because I think that the kernel of the story is really strong. Here you have this woman, to G's point, who has this really nice character arc. She goes on that hero's journey. She goes to get money or get this map to this criminal who's kidnapped her sister. So she's doing something not for herself. And along the way, she meets this man who's completely infuriating, but who she's attracted to because he is the physical embodiment of her ideal man, who she keeps writing about in her romance novels. So I thought that was interesting, and I thought that would absolutely play well for a modern audience. And I think with a couple of tweaks and stuff, and I mean, they could still even do the story in Colombia. It could be like some lost temple with hidden treasure and stuff. It could be maybe in Egypt if they wanted to do that. It could be even in Asia somewhere. It's funny, you and I were watching The Mummy earlier today, which does this same story tenfold better, but still you could see that it's a distillation. Obviously, the guy who did The Mummy has seen all these other films and has a reference point. I think that movies like The Mummy happen because of movies like Romancing the Stone.
Maybe a little, but I think this was more grounded in reality. Obviously, the Mummy, you've got mummies and
supernatural elements,
curses,
sure.
and supernatural elements.
But
so there's a lot more, I guess, to like maybe for the kids. That level of adventure is far more, even though they're weaving the romance in, and for you and me it feels like, oh, it's even, the romance is earned. For somebody who's younger, I guess, watching Romancing the Stone as compared to The Mummy, which actually, I mean, The Mummy came out in the early 2000s, right?
99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like 15 years later from
from
almost
Romance.
15 years later
Yeah.
from Romancing the Stone.
I mean,
films changed and like tastes changed and things just were like faster paced and effects were better and
Sure.
so there was like there was more eye candy, whereas in this, yeah, there were a lot of scenes where it was mainly them running through jungles with stuff like bullets hitting the ground around them.
Right.
And they did that quite a bit in this movie. So it's sort of like, okay, well, I've seen this. Show me something different. And in The Mummy, it's like, okay, I've seen this. Show me something different. Oh, here's something different. Here's a bunch of people being devoured by beetles. Here's a guy being sucked dry by a mummy.
Yeah.
Here's a mummy turning into a tornado of sand.
Yeah.
There was always something crazy and new.
Yes, I was going to say, obviously, The Mummy is done way better. I mean, I think pound for pound, The Mummy, effects-wise, locations, costuming, music, story, I think it's just overall, it's just a better film and storytelling experience. Here, though, I think it's decent, and I think it still holds up. It's nice to see the female character kind of, again, go on that hero's journey and
I think this was
find
almost
herself
like
and become stronger. However, I would be interested to see a reboot of this. I mean, I feel like they're going to that well a lot, and I think this was popular when it came out, and I think that for nostalgia people like you or I would be curious to see what they do with this now. I would be curious to see who would be cast as Joan and who would be cast as Jack, and if they tweak the story a little bit to make it more interesting for a modern audience, I think it's a winning recipe. So any studio that wants to go back to this well, I think would do very, very well. According to IMDb, the budget on this baby was $10 million.
How much did it make?
The gross worldwide, $86 million. Yeah,
pretty good.
This was
pretty good return on investment.
Really good. Yeah, I mean, I saw this in the theater and I thoroughly.
Well, I
enjoyed
think
it.
one of the things this probably had going for it coming out in the mid 80s was that you had a female character that was not just a helpless victim, but an actual participant in the story.
Yes.
So that helped. It's funny you mentioned the music. The music was better in The Mummy. The music in this was 80s cheese. There was at one point where I think me and the kids all agreed that, this is the soundtrack to Mario Kart. And it is. Alan Silvestri has a huge case against Nintendo because Mario Kart's music sounds awfully derivative of the soundtrack to Romancing the Stone.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Wow. What is it? Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah. Whoever's in charge of the Mario franchise loves Alan Silvestri's scoring.
Gee, we're not going to talk about this on the podcast, but you and I saw Fatal Attraction. Did you have a preference between that and this?
I don't know. If I had to watch one again, I'd probably pick this.
You really didn't like Dan.
Fatal Attraction was very entertaining, but I don't know if I could watch it again.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
He was so annoying. And Glenn Close is so much less attractive than Ann Archer.
Yeah, that was the big consensus in the watch of that film. Like, how would you cheat? How could you cheat on Ann Archer?
I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't watch Fatal Attraction again. I'd pick this one.
All right, fair enough. Olive G, did you think there was chemistry between Jack and Joan?
I genuinely could not care less about their chemistry. I cared about the fact of the adventure part.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't a lot of...
You don't think so? I mean, I feel like they were always running for their lives.
Yeah, but those are guys. Like, there's no, like...
There's no giant boulder and spikes flying everywhere.
There was no,
So, in order for an adventure movie to be a good adventure movie, they have to have, like, booby traps?
Yeah, like that's, like, for me, that's, like, the
The mark of a good adventure film.
Yes, the mark of a good adventure film. And this didn't have that. They just like they went into a cave and found the stove, and it was the stone. They went into a cave and they found the stone, and it was so lame, and it was.
Didn't Michael Douglas put it up his butt at one point to hide it?
No.
Oh.
He just
Put it in his pants.
hit in his pants.
Olivia, would it have been better if Michael Douglas put the stone in his butt?
This isn't a prison movie. Come on, guys.
He was keistering it.
It would have been a little better. It would have made the movie a little better, but still, like the build up was like so lame to it. There was no like real like excitement.
Yeah.
I guess so. They got to the stone a little easy, but they underwent so many like trials to get to where the cave was.
That's true. And also, I feel like I don't think it's fair to compare this to like Raiders of the Lost Ark, because I think it's completely different. Because, I mean, even though he winds up at the end with the Karen Allen character, like it's not really a romance. It's definitely an action adventure film. Here, there is action adventure, but I think that the romance is a big part of the storytelling as well. So it's like they go from being enemies to lovers in a sense. He doesn't like her.
Yeah, well then
She
if
doesn't
it's gonna
really
be
care
like
for him.
more romance, then just like don't add the adventure part at all. Just make it, I don't know.
But then you have a movie like The Mummy that does it, that blends it really well. So you can't really
The
say
Mummy
that.
did it well, but this movie really didn't. There was no real adventure, excitement, and it upset
There
me.
was plenty of adventure.
No, there wasn't.
I think it's like what I was saying. It's just there was a lot of the same stuff, right? It was just them running through the jungle. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fair. But this is what I'm saying. Like, we talk about movies being remade. Like, someone should remake this, right?
If
Make
they
it more
if they
exciting.
remade this with more Indiana Jones-ish type peril, would you be like, okay, this is much better?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. All right. Did I say what I thought? Or no? I don't even remember.
Yes, you already did.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go around the table and get numbers then. Olive G, 1 to 10. Romancing the Stone.
Probably give this like 4.
A 4. That's all right. Okay. Gigi, 1 to 10. Romancing the Stone.
I'll give it like a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
7.
What do you say?
7.
I still don't know what the hell that means.
I don't know. I don't think
That's
I want to
my
know.
genuine rating, by the way. I'm not making a joke. It just happened to be 6-7.
6, 7.
I can't decide because it's okay, but the movie's like just.
Then make it a 6.5.
I don't like doing halves.
All right. What do you say?
I would probably give this a 7.
I too would give it a 7. I think from where it starts to where it ends, I think it's strong. It's by one of our great filmmakers, Robert Zemeckis, who then goes on to make Back to the Future. According to IMDb trivia, is a nice little factoid. Studio executives were so sure this film would flop that Robert Zemeckis was preemptively fired from directing Cocoon. It turned out to be such a success that Zemeckis was able to go forward on his own project, Back to the Future.
Good for Zemeckis.
Yeah.
It wasn't Back to the Future like a massive hit.
It was a huge, huge hit.
How many sequels did
Damn,
that
they
movie
missed
get?
out.
I think 2 other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3.
Did
Did
it
they
when his mom falls in love with him?
That's
That's
the first one.
That's
so
the first one.
weird.
Well, she didn't know
She
it was
didn't
him.
know it was him.
Obviously, she didn't know it was him, but still, that was just kind of weird.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
Weird.
gross and weird, and Marty is supposed to be completely freaked out by it.
Right.
Oh,
And nothing ever happens between them.
thank God.
We should review that at some point.
We should. I mean, I think I saw a bit of it the other day, and I was like, you know what, man, this is still good. No wonder they based Rick and Morty off of this.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're not talking about Back to the Future.
Okay,
and we
yes.
just gave numbers, so let's wrap
Yes, let's wrap it up. Again, Romancing the Stone. This was on TMC. It's going away. Don't know when, but check it out. It's also to buy rent on Prime Video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell us what you think in the comments. Maybe there's more opinions out there. Tell us if you like it, if you dislike it, if there's a better romance action adventure out there. Let us know. And with that, we will bid you all a
Good night.
Good night.
good night.